I'm Dani.
I'm Marie.
And this is Beyond the Books with Dani Marie. Today, we are talking about not one, but two books. So you're going to get your feel. We're going to finish out the A Court of Thorns and Roses series and talk about A Court of Frost and Starlight and A Court of Silver Flames. And we're so excited.
Yeah.
We're very excited. So, really, let's just start with Frost and Starlight.
Okay.
What I find really unique about just the way that Sarah J. Maas writes is that this piece is not really needed to understand anything going on in the story line, really. But it's just kind of a feel-good, after the war transition piece that
after all the darkness.
That she utilizes to bring forth new characters' points of view.
Development.
And I love it because you get to see a little bit of more, and you've never really seen her side of things. And I think there's only a few chapters for more. And then she brings in Cassian and Nesta, which obviously sets us up for Silver Flame, which is fantastic. But, and then you're still hearing from Feyre, you're still hearing from Rhysand, and, you're kind of getting a little bit more of what's happening with them because their story doesn't end with Wings in Ruin.
True. I think the variety in here is why I like it. It's so small, but all that variety just...
And then you just have the feel-good holiday of the winter solstice. And everybody coming together. Now, you do still have a little bit of darkness with Nesta. You kind of see Nesta going through some struggles. And in this book, it's really kind of just portrayed as, like, her being a bitch, to be honest.
Right, there's no better word for it. She literally... I don't think I've ever grown to hate somebody quite as much as her character.
But I think most A Court of Thorns and Roses fans can agree that up until the end of, up until we get to Silver Flame, we all pretty much hate Nesta.
Oh, yeah.
Which, is also kind of like a great character development, too. Taking your reader from a character that you literally wrote for everyone to hate, and then transitioning them into, like, understanding her.
Oh, yeah.
I love that
You're like,
flip.
Okay, I guess that's not that bad.
You're like, okay, I'm feeling you. I got you now, Nesta.
Sorry I wasn't there for you in the beginning.
We the same. Which, that kind of leads us into Silver Flame. And so here's the thing. There's so much hate on the internet right now. I love how you're just transitioning from your coffee to your Pepsi. Like, what is
Morning time, midday.
Pepsi, where's our contract?
Right, yeah. Our unofficial sponsor. God.
We need sponsorship now. Alright. So, but there's a lot of hate for this book right now. And I think because a lot of people, kind of jumped on the bandwagon of A Court of Thorns and Roses a little late. And so now everybody's like just now getting to that book, right? And everybody's like, this is not the same. Okay?
Right. Where's Feyre and Rice? Okay, they're not the center of the universe, people. There's other people involved.
Okay. So first and foremost, this book, and this is my opinion, so, Sarah J. Maas, obviously jump on here and correct me if I'm interpreting things wrong, but here's my opinion. This book is not meant to be read in the same way that the first three were written. Okay? Nesta is not Feyre.
Right.
Cassian is not Rhysand.
No, he is not.
So, this is after the war, so, there's not automatically going to be another conflict that immediately comes up. Now, in Silver Flame, it does talk about some of the things that Rhysand is kind of dealing with.
Yeah, after the war.
The war.
Yeah.
So that aspect is still there, but there's not going to be an immediate conflict.
Right.
Something that.
Although the whole time I was holding my breath, I was like, oh God, something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen.
And you see the thickness of this book, and you're like, what else is in here?
That's like a lot of war. Yeah. Yeah.
But this is supposed to be, and it does a great job of it, is showing Nesta's healing.
Right.
From everything that she's been through. She's...
Right. Well, honestly, though, what I love is it shows the absolute depths of the darkness that she is, living through. It's not, sugar-coated. It straight up says, this nasty bar, these nasty men, her nasty apartment.
And so...
Truth.
And I want to point out, too, and we're gonna get a little I'm just going to give a spoiler. We're going to talk about something that is, it's a very real thing, okay? So Nesta talks about in the books that before she was made Fae, that there was a moment where she was almost raped by Tomas, who she was engaged to, okay? She got away. It did not happen, okay? Which is great. However, at the end of Mist and Fury, the King of Hybern throws her and her sister into the cauldron and rips away their humanity. Yep. In a sense, in a literary sense, this is the same as sexual rape. Yes, I get that it is not the exact same thing, but I want women out there, I want you to imagine the worst possible thing happening to you and having something taken away that you have no control over. And that is what happened to Nesta. It's what happened to Elaine. It's what happened to Feyre. It happened to all of them. And it's showcasing that each person is going to deal with this differently. Right? Did I just blow your mind?
It's true.
I'm so sorry. So, you know, this is such a big moment that I think that people are overlooking. So yes, there is a lot of training and sex happening in Nesta's book. Nesta, I think, naturally is going to be a more sexual person.
Right. Well, that, and she gets to choose. She gets to choose who, when, where, how. She's in charge.
And that is the purpose of why this book is written in that light. It's not meant to be like Feyre's story, because it's not
It's
Feyre.
not a love story. It's a broken woman's story.
Exactly. And, you know, then beyond that, she also finds healing in her friends. My God.
Her first friends ever.
Where would I be right now today without you? And
probably not having anxiety.
No, I had anxiety long before I met you.
Yeah, but we live in it together now.
But the point is that it's kind of trying to showcase that you can find healing and you can find, acceptance.
In your circle, too. She literally, like...
I also want to say that she kind of... It showcases her as kind of like being jealous of Feyre. I mean, obviously, yes, she's jealous of Feyre in other terms from, like, their human life. But then also she comes into this Fey world, and Feyre has Rhysand. She has Rhysand's circle, and she fits in with them, and Nesta has no one.
Literally no one. Which, granted, she drove most of them away. However, when she starts healing and developing her own circle, she finds herself, I think, equivalent with the happiness that Feyre has, if not more, because she was darker and lower in it before.
And she finds these women, Gwen and Emery, who have gone through not the same thing that she's gone through. None of them have the same exact story.
Just trauma in general, though. Yeah.
And they're all healing together. Oh, yeah. And I just...
At different paces, too, which is what I love. Like,
yes. And I love that it brings this dynamic of girl power, okay? And I want to point that out for all of these women out here that are hating on this story. And that's fine. If you don't like it, that's cool. Right. I'm not hating on that. But I really want you to think about this aspect of girl power in the society that we live in today. There are so many people out there that are talking about, like, women domination and girl power this and girl power that.
Right.
And here it is for you.
Right, in a book.
And you're mad because it's not some guy sweeping in being the hero that Rhysand was to Feyre.
Right, it was Nesta and her little girl gang. Like, that's...
Nesta saves herself. Cassian is a...
ornament.
Well, I mean, he's kind of just like, I don't want to say side piece because that's the wrong way to look at it, but he's something, what's the word I'm looking for? He's not the main goal. He's
just like extra.
Yeah, it's like once she gets through this healing, like, yes, she gets to have him, and yes, she finally finds inner peace within that.
Right.
But she saves herself first.
Right.
Which I just want to back this up and go back to, that's what Tamlin needs to do.
Thank you. Goodbye. Thank you. But literally, that's the thing. That's the thing, though. I got riled up, let me tell you, reading some things that women are saying about this book. And like, well, you know, and just to be clear, I creeped on these people's pages. Don't add me as a friend. I will creep. I creeped on these women's pages, and they are all pro-woman this, pro-woman that. We want equality. Okay, all right, okay. So take a good gander at this one, because all they're doing is talking about how, well, it doesn't have rice in favor. I'm sorry. It doesn't always have to be like this big romantic, like, you probably need to be healing yourself. Come on.
And take a good hard look at your own life, because, right. I mean, no man's gonna just step in and save you. It ain't gonna happen.
If you find him, let us know, because we ain't seen it yet.
He's a unicorn.
Or a Pegasus, if you will.
Because I can promise you it just ain't gonna happen.
Ain't gonna happen.
You have to be willing to pull yourself out first. And I think that that's the biggest lesson that Nesta learns in this story, which is why, honest to God, this is my second favorite book in the series.
Right. Well,
it truly is. Mist and Fury is my favorite because I'm always a sucker for the love story.
Right. She's a romantic.
I really am. And I love to watch Feyre fall in love with Rhysand. Right. I love it. That's why that's my favorite. But Silver Flame is my second favorite.
Yeah.
By far.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. Several reasons. So many reasons.
So, the other thing, though, is, you know, a lot of people are talking about how, like, this book doesn't have as much action. Like, we want to know what's happening in Prythion and all this kind of stuff. Right. I can understand that.
They're literally doing warrior training. How is that not enough action for you? Is it because they're women? But also, they do the blood right.
Okay, and so that's where I was going, is, like, okay, first of all, the war with Hybern does take place throughout the entirety of Wings and Ruin. Mm-hmm. Again, once you have all of that, you can't just jump into another conflict. This can't be...
Is there no peace? Like,
right. It's like, we can't just jump into another world war. Right. Like, have you read any kind of literature ever? Like, you just can't do that. You have to have some peace in
blood
between.
And gore and blood and gore and blood and gore. Like, damn, girl, smell the roses. Like,
So, you know, I think Sarah J. Maas did a great thing by using the blood right as the action piece in this story. And now there are some other things that are happening. I mean, Nesta, you know, forges some blades that are, you know, magical and things like that.
I love that part.
There's some stuff that Nesta does with different
scary
with like stopping time and all this kind of stuff.
The mermaid thing that Cassian and Azriel and Nesta end up upon whenever they're in the middle of
the water wraith.
Water wraith.
Yeah,
I have
that almost killed her.
Listen, the way she wrote that part was so detailed that I literally like couldn't sleep that night. I was like, the wraith is gonna get me, and I love scary movies, but that messed me up. I was like,
it was dark.
I was having really some visuals. Oh my god.
And, you know, and I mean, that just kind of goes back to when Amryn and Feyre were drowning in Wings and Ruin, and the water wraith saved them. That, I'm like, whoa.
The one that was in the woods was like a demon water wraith or something. That was terrifying.
Well, they don't get much food out there.
Oh, yeah, because they're in what's that thing called?
I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a piece of the land that, like, nobody goes to.
Right, they agreed. That's for the dark things.
Anyways, so the point, though, is that, you know, that she used the blood right as a way to bring in that action piece that would be missing. And I think that it's a fantastic thing. This is the first time, number one, that women have been in the blood right.
Right.
And the Illyrian warriors that captured them did it as a way to try and knock them out and, like, kill them off.
And prove they weren't worthy. And little did they know.
And the three of them, like Rhysand, Cassian, and Azriel, won it together.
Which I feel like was another good, like...
parallel.
Right, and it gave you a lot of information without having to hear it about what the three brothers had to go through together. But it also showed how strong these women were that weren't even technically allowed to train until, you know...
and the only one of them that's truly Illyrian is Emery.
Right, she ain't even got no wings.
Well, I mean, they would have been bound anyway, but...
In the thing? Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so bad. But there was... And they cheated! They cheated with the magic. Right. There was knives. I'm mad. But you know what? It don't matter. Because they won anyway.
They still won. And so... you know, and again, you can be upset about this book. That's fine. If you don't like it, that's
Right.
cool. That's,
if you're a He-Man woman hater, that's fine. That's fine.
that's your own prerogative.
Right.
However, you know, really, and one of the biggest things that we really just kind of wanted to end this episode with, because we're through the series as it's written right now. There's more to come. June 1st, 2023, which we're super excited about.
A really long time from
I
now,
know,
though.
it
I'm
really
gonna
is.
die before then waiting on this book. Like,
Sarah J. Maas, can we get an earlier release date?
right, or like half the book now. I don't know. Like, if
Can you just release like a chapter a week?
right. I could. You
I
know
would
what, like
read
a
that.
subscription. Oh, I could go for that.
I would
Easy.
do it.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing that we wanted to bring up is that throughout this series, Sarah J. Maas does a great job of portraying, you know, mental health problems. She does a great job of putting a storyline in for the LGBTQ plus community.
Yeah. Everyone's represented.
You know, the girl power. She talks about toxic relationships. And then, like you said, talking about the healing process. Everybody has their own way of healing. And, you know, through Feyre and Ryson's story, it shows how they heal.
Right.
And, you know, in that regard, yes, I can kind of understand you people out there that really want
You
to...
people.
You people. Because you're different than... No, I'm just kidding. I can understand where you guys are coming from with the Tamlin redemption. You know, I do think that there needs to be some story showing his healing process. Because...
Right.
There's got to be that
He can't
realization.
just hop back in the saddle. I'm sorry.
Right, and there's got to be that realization, though, that he's never going to have Feyre. And he's never going to have a happy ending if he doesn't heal himself.
Right.
And, you know, and maybe that story even involves Ryson helping him through that. I could get behind a story like that.
Right. I mean,
He's already started
right. He's
that.
already, you know, been the first one to step forward for Tamlin. Right.
I could get behind a story like that.
A bromance? Oh my god.
And how they could become like besties.
Yes, Sarah J. Maas, we've got a story for you.
Besties for the resties. I like it. So, but I mean, that's really what we wanted to kind of end with, is just how well she captures all of these things that
in one series too.
we all deal with.
Life in a fantasy fiction novel series.
In general.
They're literally everything related to real life.
And I love it.
And struggles, yeah.
And it's fantastic.
She's a pro, obviously.
We love her. So, with that being said, we are going to stick with Sarah J. Maas because we're kind of obsessed with her.
She just writes so well.
She really does.
So well.
I think she might go down in history as, like, this generation's, like, best author.
Oh, I thought you were about to name a name, like our version of, but I'm not going to say it, okay?
I mean, I could. Do you want me to?
Do it. Say it.
I mean, I'm not going to throw out a big name like Stephen King yet. But, I mean, she has that potential.
Faux show. Oh, yeah. Oh, she's on the right track.
I mean, I guess it really depends on, like, how the longevity of her career goes. Yeah. But, I mean, I'm going to go ahead.
At this point,
I'm definitely going to throw out J.K. Rowling. Because...
there are 6,000 tweets a week in relation to Sarah J. Maas.
Yeah. I mean...
And that's just, like, in the people that we follow on our page, and it's not that many. Like,
speaking of which, we have a Twitter account now. Heyo!
Tweet us.
So tweet us, get on there, and follow us on that.
Yeah, tweet us questions or, like, comments on any of our videos. We'd love to do a video response.
Also, if you haven't done so already, please go on our Instagram and follow us that way, Dani Marie Collective. And then, obviously, subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't already, because we definitely want that. But again, we're going to stick with Sarah J. Maas, and we are going to move to the Throne of Glass series, which we're both super excited about.
Right. Her and I have a lot in common. So.
Marie over here is a little bit further in the series than I am, but I'm going to work my little hiney off to get caught up.
Right. She'll do her best.
I'm doing my best.
I just have a problem. I just don't sleep. And honestly, this series is really good.
It has
addicting.
captivated you.
It has. My husband is literally like, you need to put that down. We haven't done laundry in days. Like, you need to please put that down. Like,
I need you to be a wife and do your
bro,
wifely.
I'm trying. Hold on, one more minute. Like, one more chapter.
Listen,
like,
this is her while she's doing laundry.
yeah. Oh, I'm getting nothing done. Nothing.
We were hanging out yesterday and her husband pulled up and she got up and I was like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I have to actually get up and pretend I'm doing something.
Because I hadn't done a thing but read. Oh, it was bad. But, you know, I got like 2 loads of laundry done.
It's fine.
All day.
It's fine. You like to read. There's nothing wrong with that.
I love to read.
There's nothing wrong with that.
You know.
All right. So we will catch you guys next time. Same time, same place. Bye.